Yo, what up, boys? Consecrated Path of Endurance Chieftain. A couple of years ago, when the Warcries first came out, I was playing a Chieftain Tectonic Slam build, where in this build I one-shot. My main goal was to one-shot monster packs. It was really fun to play, but since then they nerfed Warcries multiple times, and basically the build became unplayable. Now they buffed Warcries again, they buffed melee, and I wanted to come back to this build once again. I want to see if I can put that thing together, and honestly it worked out at the end. So in this video I wanted to go over the progress, upsides, downside of the build, and how I put everything together, so that you can get the idea if you want to play this or not, and also get information on how you could play this build yourself. And the main idea of this build, again, like I said, is that we one-shot monster packs, and how it works is that we use 3 different Warcries. We press 3 different Warcries, use some more Warcries. We press Intimidating Cry for movement speed and double damage. We press Enduring Cry for health regeneration, and we press Infernal Cry for damage. So that's kind of what we're focusing on. And the idea is that we attack once, we click one Warcry, we attack once, we click second Warcry, we attack once, we click third Warcry. So attack 1, attack 2, attack 3, attack 1, attack 2, and that kind of minimizes the time. We have this like 1, 2, 3, and then go pa pa pa. It's kind of awkward. So, you know, and also we don't have nothing to do while we wait for the next Fist of War cooldown, right? Because Fist of War cooldown is 1.8 seconds. We want to attack only 1.8 seconds because the area effect is big, the damage is big, so we have nothing to do, so let's just Warcry, right? So that's kind of TLDR about the idea for the build. So let's talk about the downsides first, because honestly, I don't recommend playing this build. It can work. I liked it, I played it, but generally speaking, I don't recommend. Here's why. First of all, I don't know how to level this. I did manage to level, of course, but at some point the experience was quite frustrating. It could be that it was a new build. I was trying to figure it out, and I did make mistakes while trying to figure it out. So maybe that was the main sticking point. But having no damage with big area of effect and trying to do bosses just doesn't feel. It just doesn't feel good to have enough damage. You need to one-shot everything, or else it's just pain. Then the boss damage is not enough yet, I think, for the fact that I have to wait like 2 seconds to attack. I still don't feel like my boss damage is enough. The build is still improvable by a lot. If you want to min-max, like this is the min-max point for the build, right? But I still like boss damage sometimes feels like I need it more, right? And there's no good way to get your area of effect to a boss like single target damage. Of course I use blood and sand, which kind of lowers the area of effect but increases damage, but that's enough. I didn't find any good ways how to get more boss damage like that. Then Warcries can be really hard to use, really hard. You have to like really, when I play maps, I really have to like think about buttons I press. It's like I press 1 and then I Warcry, press 2, Warcry, then I run around a little bit, there's no monsters, and then like fuck. Did I have to press 1 or 3 or 2 1 now? On which Warcry then I have to check my bar, and I need to press this one. You know, you need to constantly think about your Warcries, which ones are using. So that's not easy, right? And you want to keep all your buffs up, right? You have 8 seconds to press everything. So even when you're not doing anything, you're just looting the ground, you still have to remember to press. You're looting the ground, picking up Chaos Orbs, you're like, Warcry. 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 You still need to keep these up because the buffs are super important for your build. Then another really like weird thing I didn't expect about this build is that there's many bad map modifiers that you can't really run. Technically you could run them, but they're really annoying and like kind of break your build completely. So I rolled over them, and which also means you cannot really You cannot really do corrupted 8 corrupted map mods because you get there's just so many mods, right? So let's quickly go over them just to give you an idea. So the regular ones reflect elemental damage, max res, cannot regenerate, of course, those obvious ones. We leech, so we cannot leech. Less recovery rate. If you have increased effect, you get no recovery. I avoid this one. Extra chaos. Wither that killed me once. Since then I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do that. And then come the fun ones. Buffs on players expire faster. So your Warcry buffs, you probably don't have. In other words, you will not have your Warcry buffs in your mapping. Sucks. It kind of breaks your build. Then cooldown recovery. Since you want to press your buttons every X seconds, this screws your cooldowns. You don't have buffs again, so that's also good. Then we rely on endurance charges. So we can have steal power frenzy endurance charges on hit. Because they steal everything. One hit, all your charges gone. Rip. You're gonna die. Then I also avoid less area of effect because that affects my clear speed very significantly. So there's a lot of map rolling. It's not fun. Then we have and again, without damaged build feels very frustrating to play because you're like looking at boss and doing nothing. It's like, I wish I could do something, but there's nothing really to do. Maybe you can gem swap to some kind of Earth Shudder and then do something. I don't want to gem swap. I think it's a terrible gameplay experience and I just don't do that. So now we talked about downsides. Let's quickly go over the upsides. I build is very satisfying to play, very satisfying. You just press the button, your screen disappears. Like, oh yes, you just go bam, it's gone. You delete the screen. It feels amazing. You just go and it deletes everything. It's gone, you know. And with the MTX in the background, it just like you can see shit with the MTX. But obviously, it's worth it, man. Look at the fucking disappearance. It's just amazing. And the clear speed is decent. So if we have big AoE, we one shot, just run in, boom, everything's gone. Pick up stuff and leave. And the build extremely tanky. 19 max res, shit ton of good armor, endurance charge, physical damage reduction with like elemental reduction, endurance charges, super tanky. And that's why also. I managed to level to 100 in like 9 days, which up my record. I usually take way longer than that, but I was like 98, 99. I was like, wait a minute, I can get 100. Let's go. And I just got 100. It's super good, man. It was super fun to do that, actually. I'm like, achieve my personal achievement getting into top 100 chieftains in poe.ninja, right? That was my personal achievement. Fastest level 100 yet ever. Super good, super tanky. Then let's quickly go over the progression, how I progressed a little bit. Then we'll talk about the build cost, how much stuff pretty much costs. And actually I'll talk about on the way. And then let's talk about possible updates, skill tree, about the build, and then we'll go some other builds I saw, which I found interesting, that might give you some more ideas. So, in the progression, what I did, there's probably better ways. Main 3 uniques is this mace. I found it on the path of building. Like there's a way you can look up items by sort by DPS. So I just found the axe and I was like, well, 2C, let's go, and I bought it. It's pretty good early actually. Then Legacy of Fury. You can get this day 2 for pretty cheap. Good damage here, decent movement speed, why not? Horp's Heart, it was like 40C when I got it, 30C, I think it's still the price. And it gives, covers enemies Nash, which is pretty decent. It has even life, you know, so those are good items. The rest of the items, I had friendly charges. You could also, I should have used elemental damage with attacks implicit on the rings, but oh well, that's that. And then some just basic attack speed, glows with life and resist, physical damage reduction, armor resist, and that's about it. Alliance Roar. One thing I did is I actually used Mana Flask for like 5-6 days because I couldn't fix the mana issues, even though I picked up some like mana nodes here, which reduced mana cost of attacks. And then I picked some masteries with skills cost life. I still didn't manage to solve my mana. One of the reasons is because I was using flammability with Battle Mage's Cry, but I still wanted to use it. I was like, fuck it, let's just use mana flask. That's not a big deal. I dropped the mana flask later when I got my cluster jewel. I think that's about it to my early setup. This is where I felt like my build popped off finally. Like this is where I staged like, wait a minute, this actually works. I can play this. It felt good. And it was day 6 actually when I was like, yeah, this can work. Because to be honest, I was multiple times I was about to quit this. I was like, this is not gonna work. Feels bad. I don't like this. I was about to quit multiple times. But day 6, when I got this setup, I was like, all right, GG, let's play this. This is good. I think I got a better weapon. 6-link here. Endurance charge boots here. And I got my cluster jewel. This cluster jewel changed everything completely, and also my build works. So what is this cluster jewel? It costs 10 divines currently, so it's quite expensive, but still affordable. 100% worth it. You should get it. First of all, it provides us with mana leech. I don't know why there's no mana leech here. It's actually kind of, I find it very weird that we always have to use this. But we get mana leech, we get overlord, so we get free fortification, so we can use a different gem. Because previously on my chest piece, I kind of had to use fortification that was efficient, so I lost like 10% damage because of that. So not only we get like 20%, 30% increased damage, we also get another. We can socket a different jewel, so that's super worth it. And then for cheap price, you can get permanent onslaught, and you can get permanent 100% armor. Super high value a cluster. And this is an extra I got later when I had more skill points. You don't really need this yet. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. So I also, since I was lacking single target damage, I also got a tincture. So I go up to the boss, I click the tincture, I get 3 attacks off. Then I have to cancel it, but still enough. That's one way I got more single target damage. Everything else, still, I also got the implicits. Fire exposure, attack speed, super nice. Reduced mana cost, I'm not sure if that's needed. Here I got max resistance, so I think I could drop something on my tree. I think this mastery was, I could drop this mastery. Yeah, right here. I don't have it picked because I have no fire resistance. So we could do that. And yeah, this is where the build popped off. The cost of this build that it popped off was 10 divines for this, and everything was like 1 or 2 divines max. So there's nothing really. This is 1 divine, 50C. I don't know about these rings. They're probably cheaper now. Maybe the chest piece. Yeah, the chest piece, 6-link. 6-link, of course. I don't remember how much 6-link was. How much is it? But yeah, 6-link cost. You can calculate that. There's nothing more than 1 divine really here. Nothing else really. Also 1 divine. I got this for damage and endurance charge on kill. I thought it would help me, but there's better option. I'll show you in a second. And we have in max. We have our ailment immunity here through reduced effect of chill, reduced effect of shock, and then we combine that with our Pantheon here. Reduced effect of chill, we need 50%, and we need like 30% at least here, which I have in the jewels here. So the jewels have like 34% chill, and you got the idea. And max fire resistance, so we can get 90%. So I got armor, max res, damage, leech, onslaught, good stuff, and I was popping off. This is where I was popping off. And this is the build I got, or this is the gear I got when I was about level 100. The only thing I changed, I upgraded to this Light of the Meaning prismatic jewel. I did not know it existed, but it's absolutely bonkers. 17% damage, like 16% damage from this jewel. hallelujah, super good. Better than anything else you can actually really get here. So even it's like 60C as well, so completely worth it. Get it right now if you can. And this build, the only thing really that changed in this build, I upgraded my amulet and my weapon. So the weapon costs like 10-15 divines. Plus, I also had to anoint the prefix, the physical damage extra of each element. I low rolled to 31%. It goes up to 50%, so you can get even more damage. The weapon in general is like tier 1, tier 6, tier 2, so you can get more damage. But if you're using a Karui Maul, which is best for like the raw damage numbers, you kind of need more. You need like the tier 1 attack speed. I almost learned it the hard way. Luckily, I managed to barely get enough attack speed to make it playable. I'll get to that when I get to the tree. Everything else, Harp's Blood, I upgraded this because this amulet is better for clearing maps because you get ash on every single monster. But this is better for bossing because you also get the extra fire. They hit you anyway. You get fire resistance penetration, and you also can save 2 skill points on this tree. For the old, without the amulet, I had to take these 2 points to get Avatar of Fire, which is, not a big deal, but still saves a couple of points. And I got this amulet because I realized I have enough damage for clearing maps, and instead I just wanted more boss damage. So that's good for that. I also switched out the tincture for phasing fast. This is a huge quality of life. The suffixes, whatever, there was no good suffixes. I just slapped on something and rolled with it. And also, since I get more skill points, I also got this one. I'll show you in the skill tree section here. Upgraded a little bit jewels to get more life on them as well. And that's about it. So let's talk about gems, and then we will go over the skill tree. So gem setup, we have endurance charge melee stun. If you get 7 endurance charges, this is worth it because you can get more endurance charges and stuff like that. And I could get this because I had this jewel which gave me fortification, so I can replace that and get this. If you don't have fortification, these gems kind of feel all kind of better, honestly, than other important stuff. And by the way, if you're wondering why I'm not igniting, why I'm not playing ignite, I'm not focusing on that. The 2 reasons is that pulverize doesn't work, doesn't scale the ignite damage, and also intimidating cry, which gives exerted attacks deal double damage, gives this to exerted attacks. This also doesn't scale ignite damage, so if I try to play ignite, I would lose double my damage, and this is 50% more damage, so a lot of less multipliers, because again I want to have big area of effect hits that won't hit enemies. So you can still get some ignite, but not really, doesn't really work like together. We have Warbanner to get more burst damage, pretty nice. Here we have flammability with Battle Mage's Cry support, so every time I attack, the Battle Mage's Cry support triggers flammability on monsters. So I get free flammability cast, but keep in mind it costs mana. So you need mana sustain, which I get from the mana leech. Then we have the other war cries. I don't even know. This gives more area of effect, which is crucial. And this one is just for more damage with the overexertion. There's also Ancestral Cry gem. Don't be fooled, it doesn't work because that exerts only strike skills. We don't have a strike skill, so we don't benefit from the exertion on that gem. Then combustion support. I think a lot of people miss the fact that it has an additional attack. So if I find my combustion here, if I find Infernal Cry, you see there's a section below combust, and this triggers when you hit like an enemy. So there's like an area of effect, like an explosion, and this explosion is like another attack that can do some utility stuff. For example, I have combustion support, which enemies ignited by supported skills have 10% negative 10% fire resistance and minus 10. And here we have 25% chance to ignite. Here we have from inflammability also 25. So we have 50% chance to combust someone. I think it's pretty good, useful. And we have more duration, of course, to get more duration for a buff. And we also have Calling Strike. You can switch this for like a life on hit support or some kind of other stuff, but it's good enough. I'll think about it later. Then we have Blood and Sand, obviously super good, because we can switch to not being AoE, and if you need to more damage, you can switch to Bossing, super good skill gem, worth Herald of Ash for more damage, and the burning effect, I think it helps the overkill. And then we have more duration with other my 2 gems, and we have Flame Dash. You can also use and the thing is, you cannot use Leap Slam because Consecrated Path of Endurance is a movement skill. I made this mistake. I went into maps and I was like, why am I not dealing any damage? What is going on? Because I switched from Sunder to Consecrated Path of Endurance, and the reason for that was that I still had the mastery for Warcries cannot exert travel skills. And I was like, why am I not dealing damage? What's going on? I had that mastery and it did not work with Consecrated Path. Keep that in mind. You need to take that off. So your only movement speed is your Flask and your Intimidating Cry, which is actually pretty good movement speed, if you ask me. That's why we're also using this gem as... We're not automating this gem. We're automating other ones because we really want that movement speed buff. And we also have, of course, Flame Dash, you know, pretty decent. Not the best movement speed, but playable. Yep. So that's about it. Let's talk about the skill tree now. So what we are doing on the skill tree right here. So the basic stuff. Then we get max resistances, max resistance here and here. If you get more than a chest piece or somewhere else. There were a couple of ways. You want to like Purity Fire or something, or do other ways to get max resistances, like Mage Blood with a Flask, for example. You can do that, and then you can drop these, of course. Then we have Warcry Speed. If you get this, you don't actually need Urgent Orders. I got debated. I thought I need Urgent Order support, but I actually did not need. So that was also kind of one mess up I had when I was playing early game, like big mistake, you know. I did not need this Warcry Speed. That was pretty much useless. This is good enough with my skill tree. Here we have Warcry buff effect and duration. Then I open my Spotify for some reason. Then if you need cooldown recovery, for example, if you don't have gem quality, because gem quality is really good, gives you, let's see, boom, boom. Like, not this one. Where's my gems? Enduring Grab, 40% increased cooldown recovery from quality, which is really, really good. So, if you don't have that, pick these nodes up. If you don't, you can pick these up. So this is decent. Wait, this is actually 5 points for damage. I might drop this. I just realized. It's not 4 points, it's 5. I don't need anything else. I honestly might drop this now after I'm talking about this. But if it's 4 points, this is 3.2 damage per point. Very good value. This is 2.6. I might drop this actually. I'll think about that. So crit reduction, that's actually good. You should take this. I noticed, but maps with crit, I take damage noticeably. Then OP mastery, you can get Warcry speed here if you don't need cooldown recovery. I like cooldown recovery. Endurance charge here. The anoint endurance charge, because this is kind of bad to go. This is very inefficient to go. So many points. Maybe I can drop this and go 5 points. I have to think about this. But yeah, this is very inefficient. The only good things are life and this, and that's it. And a duo. There's nothing else to pick up here. Feels bad to go there, so we anoint this, but we go this way. We go up here. Then we get this mastery. Don't sleep on this. It gives a lot of area of effect. Maybe the damage numbers don't look that great, but the area effect is amazing. And this mastery is absolutely ridiculous. Like you all damage inflicts chill. I don't know. It's so good. You should get this mastery. That's the main reason I'm using mace, because this mastery is awesome. Then Warcry stuff. Then we have 2 rage masteries. Why 2? Because keeping up rage is super simple. You always have range. If you do the 1, 2, 3, no problem keeping up rage. Main reason is here you get 1 rage per 5 power, so you just walk right like so many times that with auto exertion and your walk rise together, it's super easy to keep up the rage. So we get this to get 1 mastery, and also you might drop this, honestly. I might be able to drop this, but the mastery is really nice. This mastery is also really nice with Intimidate. When this one gives maximum rage, yeah, honestly, I might drop this as well. See, I'm learning new stuff while I'm still reviewing, so that's good. But yeah, so you can keep up your rage. This gives maximum rage. That's why I picked this one up, because again, the rage is super easy to keep up, and also this mastery Intimidate is pretty good. Obviously, the Israel technique, and the last, and the jewels again, Overlord to fortify, mana leech. Here we have 100% armor, ridiculously good. Lead by example. Permanent onslaught, ridiculously good. And then as an extra thing you can get is you can get also some other exerted stuff, but I opted to go for more area of effect with some life and some little bit of damage as well. So main idea here, just got more area of effect for more damage. Here we have just life and life mastery from chest piece. I want to have a lot of armor on my chest piece, so that's not a lot of armor. I can get way more. I need to work on my chest piece. I can work on it. But in the future, I'm thinking I'll need this mastery anyway, so just put it in my build. Endurance charge, and this is pretty high value actually for skill points. We can get this mastery, 18%, that's good damage, and then here we have also good damage. So 3.2 damage per point, I think that's acceptable. Let's talk about possible updates on the build. What can we still change and update the build? Obviously, we can get a better mace. This one is only like there's tier 1 merciless, which is good, but then there's tier 6, tier 2 only, so there's a lot of improvement. You can get not only 31% physical damage extra of each element, you can go up to 50, which is like 16% more damage or something ridiculous. More quality on the mace, so that's very improvable. You could get a lot more armor here on the helmet. You can get way more armor on the plate as well with additional physical damage reduction suffix, more resistances. You can get double cropped boots here, or you can get also just synthesized implicit endurance charge boots, or you can craft with Warlord. Warlord influence has implicit endurance charge boots, so a lot of options to craft this. My rings still don't have endurance charges, so I can get 2 more endurance charges. This one is pretty decent. You can get more chaos resistance, more attack speed a little bit, and the belt you can get Stygian waste. And talking about that, you can get more cooldown recovery, so you don't have to spend the endurance charges. Currently, I'm spending quite a lot of endurance charges to bypass the cooldown, because the ancestral boosted attacks do damage every 1.8 seconds, but the cooldown is 2 seconds. There's like 1.2 second window where I miss and I use my endurance charges, and I do that quite a lot. So you can get cooldown recovery, you can get cooldown recovery on belt as a suffix, and Abyss Jewel. So that's what I'm planning to do, so I can line up both of these cooldowns better, and you know, it works also for my Warcry, so can maybe drop some points on the tree. So my olive gear is improvable. My flasks are even improvable. You can also get the Ascendancy jewels. You can get Mage Blood for max res. For Ascendancies, I don't know which one's best option. Initially, I thought Aspect of Carnage, but at this point, I'm starting to feel like my damage might be enough, so maybe I don't need this. You can get attack speed from this mastery. You can get more endurance charges and generation. Generation doesn't need. It's kind of endurance charge is nice. Generation, we don't really need that. This is good for area of effect. This is good for more defense. You can, if you're doing simulacrums, then this is good for not being slowed. If you want to be chaos resistance, defend against chaos resistance as well, you can get this one. So there's a lot of good options here that you can pick for ascendancies. And I honestly, like, if I had to decide now, I don't know which one I will get. I still don't know. And by the way, we have attack leech tattoo here. So just, you know, why not? Because I don't have attack leech anywhere else. Any more upgrades? You could also get weapons that have you can also get weapons like this one, which have exerted attacks, do 2 additional attacks. This is if you're playing a different playstyle. We'll talk about this build in a second. And you can also get 1 maximum endurance charge here, but again, this is not a mace, this is a war stuff, so you have to play something a little bit different here as well. Probably crit version, which is he's playing. And then you can also try to put in Echoes of Creation. You have to keep in mind that the downside is pretty severe. You're taking 17% your life of physical damage. That hurts. So you have to keep in mind that it's not just free damage. You have to like build around it. And talking about building around it, I wanted to mention 2 builds that I found on poe.ninja that I liked. I like where these guys going. I like what they put together, and those are 2 variants that you might consider when putting this build together. So you can find these guys just by looking for Chieftain and Consecrated Path here, basically. One of the builds is, again, this guy attacks more than me. He not only attacks every 1.8 seconds, he obviously attacks more because he has Warcry's Exert, and I think he also has attack speed passive, yes, Crave the Slaughter, so he also gets attack speed from his Rage. So he attacks quite more, but what enables that is additional Warcry attacks, I'm pretty sure. Then I like how he mitigates the downsides of Echoes of Creation. He has the Replica Soul Tether, which gives him Corrupted Soul. That gives him basically Energy Shield, like 1200. And every time he takes damage from the Echoes of Creation, he has Divine Shield, which regenerates his Energy Shield based on the mitigation. So he mitigates a lot of that damage, and a lot of that gets regenerated. So he ramps up, so he gets good regeneration there. So he just goes around and slams. I like what he's doing there. I think it's pretty cool. So Berserk angle as well. Not sure about that completely. Determination. He's not really doing automation. No, he does auto. I'm not sure why does he damage himself with Forbidden Rite, but there's some interesting tech here. He also has Expert Vengeful Cry, and I think how it works is that when you attack, you get you take Savage Hit because of this helmet. You hit yourself with a Savage Hit, and since you do that, you get free Rage, basically. So I think I like what these guys doing, and if you want to play a different variant, I think definitely worth checking this out. I think Enduring Composure is something, get endurance charges every second if you hit, something like that. So this is a good variant of the build. I like this a lot. You can check it out on poe.ninja as well. So quickly just go over if you want to check it here. Then a second version, which I think is also cool, is the guy with the maximum endurance charges. He also has Echoes of Creation, but this guy has so many. He has, where was it? 12 endurance charges. Ridiculous amount of endurance charges. Not only he got it from boots, from the rings, he also got from the weapon, he also got a Sublime Vision with endurance charges, and he also got the Forbidden Flesh, Forbidden Flame, which gives him the unflinching ascendancy. He has so many endurance charges. I think that's really cool. I want to see his area of effect, honestly, to see. Yeah, I would like to see how big is his area of effect. He also has the endurance charge melee stun. That's very high value here. And what he also does, he doesn't have the resolute technique, so he's doing crit. I checked his POB. I'm pretty sure he has 100% crit chance, so he always crits. And what enables that is his Battle Mage's Cry. The buff gives him base crit chance. He has power charges, probably somewhere. I mean, this gives power charge max. Accuracy, some crit chance, so he actually crits always. So that's another angle. Not to focus as much as to Inferno Cry, but focus on Battle Mage's Cry, and also you can an angle with endurance charges. So I think that this guy is doing is pretty cool. If you want a different version, I think this guy is worth checking out. I think that's it for me. I hope this video is useful. I hope this will inspire you or hold you back for playing, help you decide on if you want to play this build. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you some other time. Bye bye.